So many people think that in 2026, going full time in print on demand is only possible if you have one viral design that just all of a sudden pops off and starts making tons and tons of sales. While that's really exciting if it happens, most of the time that is not the case for the new sellers that I am seeing become full time in less than a year. Typically, this involves having a methodical system and doing consistent things to grow this business day after day, week after week, month after month. There really isn't a magic formula to this. It is a simple system that almost anyone can do, but it just takes a lot of work to actually implement these things and stick with them. So in today's video, I'm going to give you my exact 4-part plan that I would follow if I wanted to become full-time in print on demand again in 2026. So let's not waste any more time and just jump right into the first part of this plan, what you're going to be doing those first couple of months. Now, part 1 of this plan, if you are starting from basically zero as a print on demand business, or you've done a little bit of work but never consistently got anywhere, what you're going to do these first couple months is basically focus on building the foundation. Now, this is where most people rush the process and they end up sabotaging themselves from having long-term growth and from being able to grow full-time because of the choices they're making early on. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you want to pick one platform and you're going to stick with it for this year. Now, there are so many different print on demand platforms out there. You have Teespring, you have TeePublic, you have Redbubble, Zazzle, Amazon Merch, Etsy, and so many other ones. But there are some platforms that you're really going to be able to make a full-time income on, and some of them that either is going to take a lot more time to really grow on, or it's just not as feasible anymore in 2026. So the platforms I typically recommend people get started with and choose are going to be Etsy integrated with a production partner, which I will talk about, and then Amazon Merch. Now, both of those have the ability for you to make real money, tons of sales. They have so many shoppers on them, and people are still growing their businesses. Now, I started my print on demand business several years ago, but all the time I'm seeing viewers, I'm seeing students of mine starting businesses, and they are growing them on these two platforms. So Amazon Merch, it is kind of by invitation only. So you are going to have to apply to be in this program. And if you don't get accepted, you are not going to be able to sell there. So the next option that you have is selling on Etsy integrated with a production partner. So basically how this works is you are creating all the designs, you are making the listings for your products, but then when someone orders something, there is a person in the middle who is actually storing the item. They are printing the item, they're packing it, they're shipping it, they are doing all of that legwork in between, and you are just taking the profit from each sale. Now, the production partner that you guys have probably heard me talk about many times is Printify. That is who I use to sell on Etsy. So what you're going to do is the first step is you are going to create an account on Etsy, you're going to create an account on Printify, and you are going to integrate those. Now, I have videos both on applying to Amazon as well as creating your Etsy account and integrating it with Printify. So I will link those down below and you can watch them after this. But that is the first step, is you're going to need to master your platform. Now, for most of this video, I'm going to be talking about selling on Etsy, but many of the steps apply too if you do get invited to sell on that Amazon program. Now, once you have your accounts set up on Etsy, you are going to start getting familiar with actually creating listings. And what I want you to do is I want you to pick around 3 product types that you are going to focus on selling and stick with those for the majority of this first year you're trying to go full time. I know there are so many print on demand products out there, so it's very easy to get distracted and want to sell the next best thing. But I promise you, sticking with something long term is really one of the keys to having success in this business. So the products I typically recommend beginners start with are something like a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, maybe a mug, a tote bag, some kind of tumbler, another kind of apparel item. But really, Printify has a ton of options, and you just want to stick with 3 or less good ones and kind of run with that. Now, next, you're going to commit to researching and finding niches with low competition and high demand. Now, there are many different ways that you can find good niches that you want to sell and print on demand, but typically that involves using some kind of tool. Now, you have paid tools and you have free tools when it comes to print on demand. The paid tool that I really like is called Merch Informer. I will link a couple videos where I show how to actually use them to find good niches, but you don't want to be making things that so many other people are trying to sell as well. So for example, you wouldn't want to make a t-shirt that just says something like good vibes only and throw that on Amazon or Etsy and expect to make sales. There are thousands and thousands of very similar shirts of other people trying to sell those items. So you need to find a way to kind of stand out against the crowd. So besides using a tool like Merch Informer, another way you can do this is by using what I call my cross niching method. So that is basically taking two really popular niches and putting them together so you have a lot less competition. Now, what this can look like is, for example, the niche of nursing is so popular. There is so much money to be made in that, but you can't just make a generic nurse shirt and expect to actually have people find your listing and make sales, but you can combine that with something else to have a little bit less competition and a way for you to actually break into that nursing niche. So this could be something like nursing plus a hobby. So maybe nurses who love watching football or nurses who love reading, or you could do something like nursing plus a holiday. So nursing plus Christmas, those are great kinds of niches for t-shirts. Now, there is a lot more to say about this cross niching method and just niche research in general. So I actually have a full free hour-long workshop that talks all about niche research and finding a good niche to put on your listing. So I will also link that down below if you want to watch that after this. But the most important thing is you start thinking about niches with low competition but high demand. Now, one of the next choices you need to make in these first couple months is decide upfront how much time and how many listings you are dedicated to doing every single day. Now, one of the biggest things that I see over and over again is it's not the people who start off and spend, 100 hours a week working on this business and then kind of lose momentum later on that end up growing. It's the people that consistently say, okay, I am going to spend 2 hours a day working on this business, and they do that every single day. They get their uploads out. Maybe they're trying to do 5 uploads a day. They do their 5 uploads and then they move on to something else, but then tomorrow they come back and they do the same thing. So really that consistency is so powerful, especially in the beginning. So what I want you to do is kind of take an inventory of what your typical day looks like. Do you have maybe a couple hours that you spend watching TV? And could you be working on your business either instead or at the same time? And just dedicate that amount of hours to a certain number of listings you want to get out. Now, when I was first getting started, I really wanted to grow this very fast. So I committed to uploading 10 designs every single day. And without fail, for months, I did 10 new designs every single day. And that really helped me grow fast. So you certainly could do something like that. But if that is too much to manage, commit to doing 2 or 3 listings every single day. But you really do need to consistently be showing up and putting new listings up. So let's move on to the second part of this plan. Now, part 2 of this plan involves creating enough listings to let the data work for you to grow this business. Now, this part of the plan is the part people hate, but this really is where you are going to grow the bulk of your business and where things are really going to start to get going. Now, one thing that I want to say right off the bat is sales rarely come from your first 10, 20, 30, even 50 listings. So if you are still in those beginning stages, if you've only made 10 listings, if you've uploaded 20 items and you still aren't seeing any sales come in, you're not doing anything wrong. That is exactly the pattern that I see over and over happening with new sellers. Now, Etsy and Amazon, they are sometimes a volume game. So you need enough data to really understand what is going to work and what you can continue doing to grow your business. Work on getting your first 50 listings out, and that is really going to be your learning phase. So you're learning how Etsy works, you're learning what customers like, if you are getting any views on items, if people are clicking on them, you're learning how to design, you're learning how to actually write titles and descriptions. So that is your learning phase. And I have a ton of videos on all those different aspects, whether it's designing, whether it's writing titles, whether it's doing good SEO. So I will link a couple of those down below as well. But for the first 50, don't worry about perfection, just keep going, keep uploading, reaching those milestones. And then for your first 100 listings, this is where I see the momentum start to shift. Now, there's nothing magical about that 100 listing mark, but that is where I see people start to kind of get their first sales trickling in. So if you hit 100 listings, it's very realistic to think that very soon you could get your first sale, your first couple of sales. And that is huge because that is what is going to help you kind of exponentially grow this business. If you get a first sale, that is a huge indicator that you know actually how to grow this business and how to make it actually start making full-time income for you. So even though you might have only gotten $5 to $10 on that sale, that first sale is one of the most valuable things you can get in your print-on-demand business. And most people that start a print-on-demand business, they never even reach that first milestone. So if you can get there, that is huge. Now, once you get past that 100 listing mark, 200 and 300 listings, that is where their momentum is really starting to pick up. And I'm going to talk about what you should be doing for that next 200 and 300 listing mark in part 3. This is where you are going to start doubling down on what works and what sells. So in the second part of this plan, we are just kind of uploading and we're not expecting to get a lot of sales. But when it shifts to part 3 is when you start getting your first sale, your second sale, even your 10th or 20th sale. Now, what you are going to do every single time you make a sale is you are going to take inventory of what it is. So what niche is this? What product type is this sold on? What did I do in the title and description? And you are going to do more and more variations of that same thing and keep adding that to your shop. So for example, for that niche of nursing that I talked about, if for example, we made a shirt about nurses who love reading and they love nursing, if that makes a sale, that tells us a couple things. Okay, both of those niches are doing really well, nursing and reading, and combined they do very well. So what I would do in this situation is I would start thinking about how many hundreds of other variations of something like this I can make. So I could shift and make 10 or 20 shirts about reading. I could make shirts about reading and being a dentist, reading and being a doctor. Or I could go the other way and say, okay, that nursing niche is doing well. What if I combine it with a bunch of other things like other hobbies? Or what if I combined it with like nursing plus their pets or nursing plus holidays? So I'm going to start making more and more listings like that. And then I'm going to look at the title. I'm going to say, okay, what did I put in that title that was working really well? And when I go to make my other titles for similar items, I am going to kind of use that same formula, but switching out the new keywords that I'm using for this. So for example, if I made like a nursing Christmas shirt and the title for the nursing reading shirt had worked well, I am going to kind of use that same thing, but switch in words like Christmas gift or present for nurses. So every single time that you get a sale, that means you have a tiny sliver of that niche's pie and you want to own more and more of that slice of pie. So for example, when I first got started, I kind of uploaded all sorts of different niches. I wasn't constrained to any kind of thing. I would just go on Merch Informer, I would look on Etsy, on Amazon, see what I thought were kind of holes in the market where I could make really good items, and I made all sorts of different niches. Now, not every single one of them sold. In fact, only a small fraction of items ever sold, but the niches that ended up selling, I made more and more and more variations of those types of items. And so now when you look up that niche, my listings are all over the page for that particular one. Now, another thing you can do is, for example, if you made a sale on a shirt with a particular design on it, if that sells, you can immediately take that same design and put it on other product types. So you can put that design on a mug. You could put it on a sweatshirt if you didn't have one. You could put it on a tumbler. So any of the other products that you hadn't targeted with that exact design, now that you know that it is selling and people are looking for it, put it on other things and also get those uploaded. So what you don't want to do at this stage in the game is start spreading yourself too thin over things that are not working. So if you have a niche that is really starting to sell for you, don't waste your time going and trying to look for more and more niches to sell in. Focus on that. And then once you've done a really good effort of getting a lot of designs uploaded in that niche, then you can start kind of venturing out into some new niches you haven't tried to kind of find another niche that is going to do well for you. So people always ask me, okay, well, how many more products should I upload if I have something that does well? And so if you made a sale in a particular niche, I would make between 30 and 50 different variations of that niche, of that product type, before I kind of moved on to something else. So every single time you get a sale, that is crucial information that is going to help you grow this business. So do not ignore it. Now you're going to kind of rinse and repeat this process. So every time you get a sale, no matter matter what the niche is, take inventory, start making more and more listings in that particular niche of that product type and that certain genre. Now, this is how you really are going to start turning like making $5 to $10 a day into making like $50 to $100 a day. And this is where you kind of need to shift your mindset and start thinking that, okay, I don't decide what I'm going to sell in my print on demand business. The data is going to tell me what I am going to sell. So I know people, especially if they are very artistic, if they love making designs, this is where they kind of get very stuck because they keep wanting to do what they want to do instead of letting the customers and the sales tell them what is going to work in your business. So that's where a lot of people get left behind in print on demand. And the shops that really start exploding and growing is because they are paying attention to what is working for them and they are just doing that over and over again, day after day, even if it isn't glamorous. Now, part 4 of this is going to come way later once you have started making some consistent sales and you're doing the format of make a sale, make more variations, rinse and repeat. So this is where you are going to start scaling your systems instead of scaling your effort. So that means that before, while you've really been learning about kind of making good designs, you've been uploading those to different product types. And this next stage, you want to start refining all of your processes so you can start doing things faster and more efficiently and kind of growing this business at scale. So previously, you might have been trying to reach the goal of doing like 3 to 5 uploads a day. Now, that's great, but in this phase, you can start exploring things like bulk design makers or something like using templates to make designs a lot faster. You can start exploring more AI tools to get more listings out. So when you've maybe been doing 3 to 5 listings a day, maybe at this point you can start ramping that up to 5 to 10 listings a day because you're really investing in learning tools. And a lot of times people are like, well, why shouldn't I do that at the beginning if it's going to help me get things out faster? But the problem is with doing things like this too early is a lot of times you don't exactly know what you're doing well enough that if you scale up the processes you're doing to be more and more, you're just uploading more designs that people won't buy. You're doing more listings that aren't going to get seen. But once you've kind of figured out your formula for your particular shop, the niches that do well for you, you can start investing time in learning tools that are going to help you get these out faster. Now, another thing you can start thinking about if things are going well and you're in the later months of this process is you can start thinking about expanding to other platforms. So why you might not want to do this right away is because, again, you don't know exactly what is working. But if you wanted to sell in addition to Etsy or in addition to Amazon on a place like Redbubble or TeePublic or Teespring, now you have a ton of data about the designs and listings that already sell well for you. So on day 1 of selling on Redbubble, you could upload your entire catalog of all of the designs that have already made sales for you. So everything is verified as a good seller and you can start kind of growing that right away as well, because you would have wasted a ton of time if you uploaded your entire catalog to someplace like Redbubble and then most of it just sits there and never makes a sale. Now, what is realistic for actually making income in this business? Typically, you don't see that people are just making a few dollars and then overnight they kind of scale to making thousands of dollars of profit or revenue in a single month. Typically, what happens is your income is going to kind of steadily grow. So maybe the first few months that you are making sales, you're making a few $100s. But then if you keep kind of repeating that process, you're going to add a few hundred more to that same money. So maybe you're starting to make $500 a month. And then you keep kind of adding a couple $100s every month or a couple months until you are really scaling to where you're making a significant amount of revenue or profit in your print on demand business. I remember there was a huge kind of mindset shift in where I really saw that this was possible to kind of take full time the very first day that I made over $100 of profit from my print on demand business. It was like a switch flipped, and that is where the momentum really started to take off because I kind of knew I had this formula. I do this many listings per day, I track what is making sales, and I do more of what's working, and I just rinse and repeat that every single month and do that consistently. Now, you guys have heard me say it many times, but the print on demand, it is not a get rich quick scheme. It is a great business to start because it is very low cost and it is relatively easy to get going in. And again, the formula to go full time in this, it is a simple formula. You're just doing the same thing over and over, but it's not not easy. You have to commit to doing this, and you have to consistently work on your business every single day. Those little efforts are going to compound way more than just spending hours and hours working on this. But if you do that, you can be one of the many new sellers that starts at the beginning of 2026 and by the end of the year has a thriving business, and they are crushing it for the holiday season of 2026. So don't wait another year to make this happen for yourself. You want to start your efforts now, so at the end of the year, you can really be reaping the benefits of making a ton of profit because you've spent the entirety of this year really getting your business growing. Now, I will link all of those resources down below for you guys of videos you can watch next for each part of this process, as well as that full hour-long workshop on getting really good at niche research. But this is the video I would actually watch next if I were you. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.